Hi my lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. This is something greater. In my last few videos, I've talked about planning, I've talked about routines, I've talked about basically trying to build a future that I really enjoy. And after all my list, all my routines, I actually want to start living and achieving some of these goals. I wanted to invite you along with me as I go through and try to reach some of my interval goals and I make way and progress in building a life worth living. So this video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be part of a new series where I'm going to be diving into different interval goals and giving you updates on how it's going and what I'm doing, what I've been learning, and the progress I'm making. Today, we're going to be diving into my first interval goal, run a marathon. I wanted to explain why this goal is so important to me and why I have it in the first place. But I wanted to say something first. Running is not easy for me at all. This is not one of those videos where I decided to get off the couch and then I run a 7-minute mile, or I start training for a marathon and in 3 months I'm running a sub 3-hour marathon. This is not a story where I start running and approve super fast. Within 6 months, I'm running marathons left and right. This is a story about giving something your every effort and still struggling and still not being able to meet the goals that you want. This is a story about begging for your body to give you more when it just won't, and being so frustrated and wanting more, but not really knowing how to get there. This is a story of trying to not build self-hate as you wish for more from your body because you see everyone else being able to do things that you can't do. It's about patience, it's about frustration, it's about trying to love my body through something hard and demanding and trying to keep going even when it feels so much more satisfying to quit sometimes. It's also realizing that this journey is something that may never be easy. If you're new here, this channel is all about living a life of love and having action through love and not fear. Having action through peace and not urgency. I'm definitely practicing this through running right now. I think I mentioned it in my last video where I talked about mindfulness and how running has allowed me to practice mindfulness. The goal to run a marathon came kind of out of nowhere. I saw a TikTok where someone was saying they were going to run 26 miles for their 26th birthday, and it kind of stuck. I think everyone jokes that when you go through your quarter-life crisis, you start running a marathon or dyeing your hair, getting bangs, something. I apparently chose running. But I think it's always been deeper than that. I think I wanted to challenge myself and succeed at something that I'm not naturally good at. Running has been something I've always hated, and I really wanted to start changing that narrative. But first, as always, let's set an intention for this video. The intention for this video is practicing patience and love towards my body. Not forcing it, not pushing it, just learning how to move with my body instead of against it. So let's take a breath and let's get started. So I've always liked working out. Maybe that's a lie. As a child, I hated gym class. I hated running, I hated sports, I hated really anything physical. I would literally get so mad if I had to just walk to school. I was forced to play soccer growing up, and I still resent my parents for that. To be fair, a lot of things came really easily to me. Making friends, doing well in school. Sports did not. So I avoided them like a plague. I wasn't good, and so why do it? Sometimes there were moments that did surprise me where I was better than I thought. I found out that I really liked field hockey. I really liked swimming. But in the back of my mind, I never really saw myself as athletic, as someone who's good at sports. It wasn't the narrative that I had. So anytime I had the chance to build or try a new sport, it wasn't something that I was interested in. It wasn't for me. And as I grew up, I realized I was quitting a lot of things. I quit ballet, ice skating, gymnastics, horseback riding. My heart yearns to try them now with my new perspective, to know that I can still move forward even if I'm not good at something right away. I think my identity was attached to being the unhealthy fat kid back then, and I didn't really want to be proven differently. It felt painful to try to prove it differently. I just wanted to do what I was good at. And I was good at school. I was good at talking with people, making friends. I was good at being creative, and that was enough. By college, I decided, well, I guess I found out that I am pretty naturally strong. I remember I did a leg press and I maxed it out the first time I tried it, which was really impressive to me as someone who's never really lifted before. And so lifting became something for me. As I wanted to get more physical, I tapped into something I was naturally good at. I was strong. I could build muscle really quickly. But there was just something about running that I couldn't escape. I don't know if it's like the aesthetic of just going on a run that just brings me back, but there's just something that has always connected me to running. And I've always just tried and given up at it. It's always been just the easiest form of cardio. And for me, it just seemed like something that I needed to reach. And I don't know why. It just felt like something I needed to conquer. Where it's like, this is such an easy, natural thing that I should be able to do. Why can't I do it? It almost kind of felt like running was the barrier to my dream body. I could lift and I can do all this and I could be strong, but I had such an association with who I was and my health. I feel like I really correlated all of that to be able to run. I was not fit, I was not strong, I was not healthy, and I wasn't proud of my body until I could run. So I tried again and again and again and multiple times, and it just never stuck. In 2025, I was in a really dark place in my life, kind of where I learned that I needed to make a change if I wanted to truly be able to live a happy life. As I was working on my mental health, I actually clung to exercise. I needed those endorphins and it made me feel alive. It gave me structure and something to move towards too. I felt like I was failing in every aspect of my life, but if I could lift 5 pounds heavier, that gave me just something to hold on to. And then I saw the TikTok, 26 miles for 26th birthday. It was a joke. It started as a joke, and I decided to run again. I picked up my shoes and it sucked. It wasn't easier, but it was different. Something felt more aligned. And before I knew it, I was able to run a 5K and then a 10K. And then I was able to run 10 miles. I think I learned that things don't have to be hard. And if I go slow, I can do a lot more than I thought. This was the first time that I learned about conversational running and easy running. Runs don't have to feel like you're dying. They can actually be enjoyable. The slow and steady, they can be almost meditative. I started using running apps like Nike Run or Runna and structured, planned workouts that weren't as daunting as just running until I felt like I needed to throw up. It was different. And like I said, this isn't a quick fix run. I became great at running. It took a long time to get to being able to run 6 miles, 10 miles. And even then, my body still kind of let me down. It's really frustrating because I have really bad shin splints. Anytime I run, I get really bad shin splints. They come and go depending on how often I'm running, things like that. But when I started running, they were the biggest barrier to being able to run. I think a lot of times when I talk to people, they're like, oh, I get so tired. For me, it was never a cardiovascular thing. It's always been my body cannot physically keep going, or I would just be in so much pain with running, no matter what shoes, no matter my running gait. I would try to change everything and have the right running form, and I was still in so much pain that it just felt like I couldn't run. And I went to PT and started running more, and my shin splints started to fade away, and I was excited. I was about to sign up for a half marathon. And then I blew out my knee, and that was very sad. I was pissed, honestly. I was really upset that I got to this level and I couldn't run anymore. I had to stop running completely. And honestly, it just reaffirmed that you can't do this. You're not athletic. You're that unhealthy fat kid. Why did you think you could be something different? Gave me an excuse to quit again. And at this time, I was moving around a lot. I was trying to figure out my life, and I just didn't have the energy to push myself in running anymore. And so it just kind of fell off. And that brings us to November 2025. I was feeling better mentally. I had a new job, I was in a new place, and the itch to run came back. There was no way I was going to be able to run a marathon for my 26th birthday, which was in February. I didn't even try, but I still could run a marathon at the age of 26. And I think this became so important to me because I realized that I've quit so much stuff in life because of the stories I've told myself, because it became hard. Things came easy to me as a child, and if they didn't, that meant something was wrong with me, and I just quit and let it go. I didn't want that to be my personality anymore. I didn't want that to be the story I associated with myself. I didn't want to quit this time. And so I started again, and it was awful. It felt like starting from zero. It was crazy how 6 months ago I felt like I could run 6 miles and it really not be that big of a deal, to not even being able to run for 5 minutes. But I also realized something. I wasn't completely starting over. I didn't have to start from scratch. I learned a lot the last time I ran. I learned techniques and tricks. I learned what apps work best for me, how to plan my run. I knew how to start so much better now. I went straight to PT because I knew I was going to have shin splints and I wanted to take care of my knee. I didn't even start running until I was in PT for a couple weeks, and I started slowly. I started just doing incline walking first to get my body used to that type of movement. I changed my weightlifting technique and started training for endurance within my muscles instead of just fully building strength. I started Pilates once a week, which helped train those smaller muscles to build strength in ways that I can't necessarily do with a heavy weight. I was strengthening my feet, my calves, my glutes. I knew what to do and slowly started running again. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, half a mile. And I recently, actually yesterday, just finished my 5K training plan. I still struggle to run 3 miles. My shin splints hurt. My knee hurts, but I am trying to make peace with it. I'm healthy and I'm moving in the right direction. It's just taking a long time and I'm running really slow. I can do everything right and it still just takes time. And that is the most frustrating part sometimes. It's not gonna happen overnight and I don't even know how long it's gonna take. My body just has to get used to doing something it's never done before or hasn't done in a long time. I will run a marathon. I've decided that that's what's going to happen. And I honestly can't say if it's going to be this year. I would love for it to be this year. I'm planning for it to be this year. However, I don't want to push myself and do something that will cause me to be injured or be in a pain. It's next year, it's next year. If it's 2 years from now, it's 2 years from now. I have to trust my body and the pace it sets for me. Coming back to the attention of patience and love towards my body, it's been so hard. I have to keep reminding myself progress is not linear. Some days feel way better than others. And just because it's hard doesn't mean that I can't do it. Just because it's hard doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. I think a lot of times when I see running and influencers, there's this narrative that you can just get up and run and it's easy. There's so many videos on YouTube where it's like, I didn't train for a marathon and I ran it. And I wanted to share my story because it's different. I need to train. I have 6 months planned to train for my marathon. And that's from starting from being able to run from a half marathon. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking time to do things. And I also don't think there's anything wrong with running slow. I still only can run about a 13-minute mile. And I want to get faster. And it's hard. And sometimes I just get so mad at my body because I'm like, I know you can move faster, go. Or I get so mad when I get shin splints yet again. Always at 0.4 miles. I always get that. And knowing that I have to do the rest of my run in that pain, knowing that I can warm up correctly, I can stretch, and my body just has to get used to it. I can change my shoes, I can do all of this, and it's just something that I'm predisposed to. It's just something that my body needs to handle on its own. And as long as I'm doing everything right and I'm checking in with medical professionals and I'm not pushing myself too much, I have been seeing progress. And it's been so slow, but this is where the love comes in. I want to love my body through this, and I don't want to hate myself through this either. So I wanted to give this advice if anyone else is thinking about running and thinking that they can't do it, or it's something that they would like to do, but they just don't know where to start. And know that it's okay to run a 15-minute mile, a 16-minute mile, an 18-minute mile. It's okay to run walk. You are still a runner. You are still worthy of calling yourself a runner. It's okay that your paces, your strategy, your timeline does not look like other people's. And I think a lot of times I would love to see other creators and other influencers who do run have the same goals and struggles as me. It's not easy. And I think a lot of times I've thought that it had to be because it seemed easy for everyone else. I want to be the person that says it's not for me, at least, and that's my experience. It's been really hard, and I have to put a lot of effort into it to do half of what other people can do. I'm not a natural runner, and that's okay. I can still enjoy it, and I can still love it, and I'm still worthy to call myself a runner. So the advice I have is start slow, know your body, seek help, professional help if you need, and be patient. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I think I have to keep telling myself that time does not diminish achievement. I can still achieve something and be so proud no matter how long it takes. And that I am not unworthy of something just because it takes me a long time to get there. My goal is to be able to run the Hawaii Marathon at the end of the year. And I'm excited to try that. I'm excited to say I didn't quit this time. I don't know how the next few months will unfold. I hope some of it will get easier. I know some of it will get harder. But I do know that I want to be there for myself and love myself throughout it all. I want to show up gently, patiently, and lovingly. Until next time, I'm wishing you this or something greater. Bye!